The end of the year is approaching swiftly, but it's also the beginning of a new chapter, isn't it? A moment to reset, to reflect, and to realign the course of your life. Napoleon Hill once said that life doesn't respond to emotions or feelings. It answers to your philosophy, the ideas you've chosen to live by. Think about it. How often do we move through days, weeks, even years with the same routines, the same thoughts, and the same excuses that keep us stagnant? But what if, this year, you chose to rewrite that narrative? Every meaningful transformation begins with a decision, a choice to think differently, to act with purpose, and to live courageously. Success isn't something you pursue, it's something you draw to yourself by becoming someone worthy of it. And the beauty of life is that we each hold the pen. We're the authors of our own story. We get to decide if this is the year we grow tougher, sharper, more determined to stretch toward what's possible. But here's the truth. Wishing for change won't make it happen. It takes principles, a guide to lead you, and steady action to ground you in the process. That's where these 10 rules come into play. They're not abstract notions or lofty ambitions. They're tools. Tools you can start using today to reshape not just this year, but your whole life. Are you ready to take the challenge? Not just to hear these rules, but to put them into practice? Because nothing changes until you do. Rule number 1. Take complete responsibility for your life. This is where it all begins. Responsibility is the cornerstone of a meaningful life. It's the starting place for every breakthrough, every transformation. So let me ask, who's steering your life? Who's making the choices? It's easy to blame, isn't it? The economy, your background, the government, bad luck. But here's the truth. Until you fully own your life, nothing will change. Responsibility means understanding that only you have the power to alter your course. It means owning your mistakes, your failures, even the things that weren't entirely in your control. Why? Because once you claim responsibility, you reclaim your power. Think about it. If someone or something else is responsible for your life, then they hold the power, not you. But when you declare it's on me, you take the reins. Years ago, I met a man struggling with money. He told me all the reasons he couldn't succeed. His boss disliked him, his industry was tough, he wasn't born into wealth, excuses stacked up like bricks. I asked him one simple question. What are you doing about it? He looked confused. What do you mean? He asked. I said, what actions are you taking to improve your skills, to add value, to open doors for yourself? That moment changed his life. He realized that waiting for someone else to rescue him was a dead end. When you assume responsibility, you shift from victim to creator. You stop waiting and start building. Here's the powerful part. Responsibility is liberating. When you embrace it, you stop draining energy on blame and start investing it in solutions. It's not always easy. It demands brutal honesty. It requires you to look in the mirror and admit where you've fallen short. That's tough, but it's essential. Because when you take ownership of your life, you also claim your potential. You begin to ask, what's possible for me? What can I accomplish if I truly apply myself? So here's your challenge. Starting today, refuse to make excuses. Refuse to blame your past, other people, or bad fortune. Ask instead, what can I do? What's within my control? What step can I take today? Because real change doesn't begin with others, it begins with you. Remember this, you may not control everything, but you always control your response, and your response shapes your future. Take full responsibility, and you'll be stunned by how much power you already possess. Rule number 2, set clear goals and write them down. If responsibility is the foundation, goals are the map. A map shows you where to go, helps you face challenges, and ensures you're not wandering through life without purpose. Without clear goals, you're like a ship adrift, hoping, wishing. But life doesn't respond to hope, it responds to clarity and deliberate effort. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what's realistic, not what someone else expects of you. What do you want? The more clearly you define your desires, the sharper your focus becomes. Clarity breeds power. Because you can't hit a target you can't see. Years ago, I discovered a powerful truth. Writing down your goals is like planting a seed in the soil of your consciousness. Once it's written, it shifts from a fleeting thought to a firm commitment. It's no longer just a wish, it's a declaration. And here's what happens: your mind begins to work on it. You start to notice opportunities, ideas, and resources that match your goal. At a seminar, I met a young man overflowing with ambition but lacking direction. I asked if he had written goals. "No," he said, "they're all in my head." I challenged him to write down 5 things he wanted to achieve within a year. He hesitated, but eventually did it. A year later, he returned, tears in his eyes. He'd achieved 4 out of 5. Why? Because writing them down made him focus and act. But here's the truth: goals alone won't change your life. You need a strategy. Break big goals into small, actionable steps. Ask, what can I do today, this week, this month, to move forward? Consistency wins over intensity every single time. Small, steady action compounds into huge results. Review your goals often. Don't write them once and forget them. Keep them visible. Read them daily. Visualize them. Remind yourself why they matter. That's how you stay motivated and aligned. And don't be afraid to dream big. Set goals that energize you, stretch you, even intimidate you a little. Because the purpose of a goal isn't only to reach it, it's to grow into the person who can. When you set a goal, you're declaring, "This is who I choose to become. This is the life I intend to build." So carve out some time today. Write down your goals. Don't wait for the perfect time. There is none. Start now. Because clarity creates momentum. And momentum is how vision becomes reality. Rule number 3, develop discipline as your most trusted ally. If goals are your map, then discipline is the engine that moves you forward. Without discipline, even the best intentions unravel. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and the future you want. It's the commitment to keep going even after the initial excitement fades, when challenges surface, or when progress seems slow. Slow down. Some people assume discipline is about limitation or denial, but that's a misconception. Discipline is about freedom, the freedom to build a life aligned with your true desires instead of being controlled by poor habits or fleeting emotions. It's about declaring, "I choose long-term gain over short-term ease." How often have emotions steered your actions? "I don't feel like exercising today," or "I'm not in the mood to work on that task." Emotions are inconsistent, aren't they? They fluctuate. But discipline declares, "I act based on my commitments, not my moods." I once heard a story about a young athlete dreaming of Olympic gold. Every morning he rose at 5 a.m. to train, rain or shine. When asked how he stayed motivated, he replied, "Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving." That's the essence. Discipline is doing what's necessary even when you're not in the mood. Here's a plain truth. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. No one comes into the world naturally disciplined. It's a muscle, strengthened by repetition, one choice at a time. And the best way to build it? Start small. Focus on manageable habits. Don't burden yourself by trying to overhaul everything at once. Choose just one area to grow in. Whatever it is, commit to it consistently. Here's the secret. Every time you honor a promise to yourself, no matter how minor, you strengthen your discipline muscle. You deepen self-trust, and that trust fuels your confidence. On the flip side, each time you break that promise, you weaken the muscle. So make sure your commitments are realistic. Better to begin small and win than to overreach and quit. Discipline also demands a clear why. Why are you doing this? What's the deeper meaning behind your pursuit? When your actions are tied to purpose, staying disciplined becomes easier. But let's be honest, there will be setbacks. Discipline doesn't mean you never stumble. It means you don't allow a slip to become a spiral. Forgive yourself, learn, refocus. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Discipline isn't punishment, it's a powerful gift you give yourself. It's the road to your dreams, to a life of meaning and fulfillment. So make a decision today. Let discipline become your ally. Start small, stay steady, and watch your world change. If they're positive, purposeful, and growth-oriented, you'll likely reflect that. But if they're negative, passive, or stagnant, that too will affect you. Napoleon Hill once said, if you want to change your life, change your environment. At first, I didn't fully grasp that. But as I examined my surroundings, I noticed something. I was often around people who were content with mediocrity, who avoided growth and embraced excuses. That was stunting my progress. Now, this doesn't mean cutting everyone off, but it does mean becoming intentional with your energy. Choose to spend more time with those who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, not settle. I once worked with a young entrepreneur who was stuck, unable to elevate his business. After a conversation, I realized his peers were constantly undermining him, saying his ideas were unrealistic. He was surrounded by limited thinkers and was weighing down his confidence. I encouraged him to shift his circle, to seek out mentors, ambitious peers, and others who shared his vision. A year later, his business flourished. Why? Because he surrounded himself with belief, not doubt. So what kind of people should you seek? First, find mentors, those who've walked the path and reached the levels you aspire to. Their wisdom will become your compass. Second, find peers with ambition, those on similar journeys. Growing together creates momentum. Sometimes you must distance yourself from toxic influences, the constant complainers, the critics, the doubters. That's hard, especially when they're old friends or family. But your environment shapes your future. And remember, be the kind of person others want to be around. Add value, uplift, support. Relationships are mutual. When you bring your best, you attract the best. So take inventory of your circle. Are they helping you rise or keeping you small? If they're holding you back, it's time to make a shift. Because success isn't just about what you do, it's also about who you do it with. Rule number 5, master the art of consistency. Consistency might seem unexciting, but it's the quiet force behind every success story. It's the small, repeated actions day in and day out that create extraordinary outcomes. Think about it. One workout won't make you fit. One healthy meal won't transform your health. But when you repeat those behaviors over weeks, months, and years, transformation happens. That's the magic. Success isn't about intense bursts. It's about steady rhythms. Far too often, people start with excitement, they hit the gym for 2 weeks, then stop. They chase a goal for a month, then give up. Why? Because they expect fast results. But here's the truth. Meaningful achievements take time, and consistency bridges the gap between effort and result. I recall a story of a man who dreamed of writing a novel. At first, he wrote enthusiastically, filling pages daily, but soon distractions pulled him away. He struggled to keep up the pace and considered giving up. Then he realized that writing a little each day, even when uninspired, was the key. So he committed to just 300 words daily. Over time, those small, consistent steps accumulated into a complete book. The lesson: consistency beats bursts of passion every time. Napoleon Hill taught us that success requires persistence. It's the refusal to quit, the daily habit of showing up even when the fire dims. Your dreams demand this steady commitment. So, whether it's fitness, learning, or business, focus less on sudden intensity and more on faithful repetition. Now, consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will be days you falter. That's natural. What matters is returning to the path without guilt or delay. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day after day. So, make a plan. Break your goals into daily actions. Keep track. Celebrate small wins and adjust when needed. Over time, these habits become second nature and your progress unstoppable. Remember, the journey to success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. Run one step at a time. Embrace consistency as your greatest ally and watch as it turns your dreams into reality. Napoleon Hill once spoke of a man determined to bring down a towering oak tree. Each day he approached it and delivered 5 strikes with his axe. No more, no less. At first it seemed ineffective, but with each passing day, those swings accumulated. Eventually, that mighty oak collapsed, not from a single mighty blow, but from unwavering, consistent effort. The same principle holds true in every part of your life. Want to build wealth? Save and invest consistently. Want to improve your health? Exercise and eat well, consistently. Want to expand your skills? Practice and learn with consistency. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up, even when it's hard, even when motivation is absent. So how do you build consistency? First, begin small. Don't overhaul your entire life at once. Select one habit you want to build and dedicate your focus to it. Keep it simple and achievable. Second, establish a routine. Habits flourish within structure. Decide the when, where, and how of your activity and stick to it. Third, monitor your progress. There's real power in watching your streak grow. It fuels your momentum. Celebrate those small wins. They're what keep you moving forward. But here's the truth. Some days will test you. Life will interfere. Progress will seem slow. That's when consistency counts the most. Remember, doing something is always better than doing nothing. Even if it's imperfect, do it anyway. Consistency is about growth, not flawlessness. Here's the magic of consistency. It compounds. Like compound interest in a savings account. Small efforts today evolve into greatness tomorrow, and one day you'll look back and marvel at how far you've come. So commit to yourself. Whatever your goals, whatever your dreams, decide to show up daily. No excuses, no exceptions, because success doesn't come from a single act. It's born from relentless consistency. Hence rule number 6, master your time. Time is life's most priceless resource. Unlike money, you can lose and earn again, or skills you can gradually develop. Once time is gone, it's gone for good. How you manage it defines the life you create. Reflect on this. Are you spending time or investing it? Are you shaping your future or letting it slip through your grasp? Everyone receives the same 24 hours. No more, no less. The difference between dreamers and achievers isn't in having more time, it's in using it wisely. Time management isn't about being busy, it's about being purposeful. Focusing on what truly counts. Don't schedule your priorities, prioritize your schedule. In other words, identify what matters most and make it the centerpiece of your day. Too often, people fill their time with trivial tasks or say yes to everything. Before they realize it, their day is over and their vital goals remain untouched. Here's a lesson I embraced early. Clarity is the essence of time management. You must know what's essential. What 2 or 3 consistent actions would make the biggest difference in your life, whatever they are? Give them your prime hours, your peak focus, your best energy. What can help? First, plan your day the night before. Spend 10-15 minutes listing your top priorities. When you wake up, there's no guesswork. You're already prepared. Second, use time blocks. Reserve specific hours for key tasks. During those periods, remove distractions and engage fully. You'll be stunned by how productive you become. Third, learn to say no. Every yes to something misaligned is a no to something crucial. Don't be afraid to decline invitations or obligations that derail your focus. Guard your time. It's your greatest asset. And never forget to care for yourself. Rest, recovery, and renewal aren't indulgences. They're necessities. You can't manage time wisely when you are depleted. Schedule rest and defend it as fiercely as your work. So ask yourself, how are you using your time? Are you investing it in what matters most or letting it drift away? Time is a gift. Treat it as such. Rule number 7, nurture a positive attitude. Your mindset is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It shapes your worldview, influences how you respond to hardship, and ultimately defines the quality of your life. Here's the truth. You can't control everything that happens, but you can always choose how you respond, and that choice begins with your attitude. Consider this. 2 people can face the same trial, yet have vastly different outcomes because of their outlook. One views obstacles as blockades. The other sees them as lessons and chances to evolve. The difference? not the situation, but the perspective. I recall a tale of a shoe company that sent two salesmen to a remote village. One reported, "It's hopeless, no one here wears shoes." The other said, "It's a golden opportunity, no one here wears shoes." Same circumstance, two opposing views. Which one do you think triumphed? You see, your attitude determines your altitude. A positive mindset doesn't guarantee success, but a negative one nearly always guarantees failure. Why? Because negativity clouds your judgment, saps your energy, and attracts more of the same. A positive attitude, however, fuels your resilience, your creativity, and your drive. But let's be clear, positivity isn't delusion. It doesn't mean ignoring facts or pretending all is well when it's not. Perfecting your mindset means choosing to focus on solutions instead of dwelling on problems, on opportunities rather than limitations. It's about finding the lesson within every challenge and seeking the silver lining in every setback. Begin and end each day with gratitude. Take time to reflect on what's going well in your life. What are you truly thankful for? Gratitude shifts your attention from what's missing to what's abundant. It's difficult to stay negative when you're genuinely grateful. Another powerful practice is protecting your mind from negativity. Be intentional about the media you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you allow space for. If you feed your mind with negativity, that's exactly what it will produce. But if you nourish it with uplifting books, inspiring stories, and empowering affirmations, you'll develop a mindset rooted in hope and possibilities. Still, don't forget that maintaining a positive outlook takes real effort, especially during hard times. It's easy to stay upbeat when life is smooth, but real growth happens when you choose positivity in the face of adversity. Remember, no storm lasts forever. The sun eventually breaks through. Your attitude will determine how you weather the storm. Here's another key truth. Your attitude is contagious. When you maintain a positive outlook, you uplift and inspire those around you. You become a source of encouragement and strength, creating a ripple effect. Surround yourself with others who radiate that same positive energy, and together you'll multiply each other's success. So decide today to cultivate a positive attitude. Choose to see the good, to focus on solutions, and to approach life with optimism and hope. Because when your mindset is right, your life will follow. Rule number 8, commit to lifelong learning. If there's one thing you can count on in life, it's change. The world is constantly evolving, and those who thrive are the ones who keep learning. Lifelong learning is like sharpening your axe. It prepares you to tackle challenges and seize opportunities as they arise. Learning doesn't end with school. In fact, that's only the beginning. Formal education may earn you a living, but self-education can earn you a fortune. What you learn after you think you know it all is what truly sets you apart. Napoleon Hill used to say, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." At first, I didn't understand, but then he explained, if you improve your skills, expand your knowledge, and grow as a person, you become more valuable in your work, your relationships, and your future. So the real question is, are you investing in your mind? Are you reading books, attending seminars, listening to podcasts, and learning from mentors? Because here's the truth. The more you learn, the more you earn, not just financially, but in wisdom, opportunity, and fulfillment. There was a man who built a successful career but hit a plateau. He felt stuck and didn't know why. I asked, "What are you learning right now?" He paused and admitted, I guess I haven't been learning much lately." That was the problem. He had stopped growing. The beauty of learning is that it compounds. What you gain today builds upon what you learned yesterday, creating exponential growth. But here's the important part. Don't just learn for the sake of it. Apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is meaningless. So how do you commit to lifelong learning? Make it a daily habit. Don't limit it to your job. Personal development matters just as much. Learn about health, emotional intelligence, relationships, and finances. The broader your knowledge, the better equipped you'll be to handle life's challenges. Another tip, learn from others. Surround yourself with people who are wiser, more experienced, or more insightful than you. Ask questions, listen deeply, and welcome feedback. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. Lifelong learning also requires humility. It's understanding that you don't know everything and being willing to begin again. Don't let pride keep you from exploring new fields or admitting gaps in your understanding. Remember, change is happening faster than ever. New technologies, industries, and opportunities appear constantly. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. But when you commit to growth, you position yourself to thrive in any environment. So here's the challenge. Decide today to become a lifelong learner. Make growing your mind and skills a daily habit, because the more you learn, the more you become, and the more you become, the more you can achieve. Rule number 9, embrace change and adaptability. Life moves in seasons. Just when you think you've got things figured out, the winds shift, the terrain changes, and you're faced with new obstacles or opportunities. That's why adaptability is a crucial skill. The ability to embrace, not resist, change can be the difference between progress and stagnation. How do you respond when change arrives? Do you fight it? Here's the truth. Change is inevitable. Growth is a choice. I've met countless people who resist change because it's uncomfortable. They hold on to the familiar even when it no longer serves them. But the irony is, the only constant in life is change. Resisting it only intensifies the struggle. When you embrace and adapt change, you open the door to thriving. Now I get it, change can be intimidating. It pulls you from comfort into the unknown. But that's where growth lives, in discomfort. It's in uncertainty that you discover new strength, fresh ideas, and hidden opportunities. Here's how to embrace change. Focus on what you can control. You can't always shape what happens outside, but you can choose your response, your mindset, and your actions. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from it? What's the opportunity here? Another aspect of adaptability is flexibility. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and that's okay. The ability to pivot, to shift course without abandoning your purpose, is what keeps you progressing. Think of a tree in a storm. The ones that survive aren't stiff. They're the ones that bend with the wind. So how do you develop adaptability? First, adopt a curious mindset. Instead of fearing change, approach it with wonder. Ask questions, explore ideas, be open to new perspectives. Second, build resilience. Resilience is bouncing back from setbacks. It's viewing failure not as a wall, but as a stepping stone. The more resilient you are, the quicker you recover, and the further you go. The more adaptable you are, the further you'll go. Stay proactive. Don't wait until life compels you to change. Anticipate it. Stay alert to trends in your field, in your community, and in your personal world. Prepare for what's coming. When you're proactive, you're never caught unprepared. What if that unplanned career detour leads to your dream job? What if that painful breakup opens the door to a healthier, more authentic relationship? What if that failure is the seed of your most extraordinary success? Don't resist change. Embrace it. Let it teach you, guide you, and expand you. Because when you adapt, you don't merely endure, you rise. Rule number 10, be grateful. Every single day. Gratitude is the cornerstone of a meaningful life. It's the lens through which we see beauty, blessings, and opportunity. Yet too often we miss it. We focus on what's lacking, what's broken, or what we wish were different. But gratitude redirects that focus. It anchors us in what's right, what's good, and all the reasons we have to be thankful. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly paused to appreciate your life? Not just the big wins, but the small daily gifts. The warmth of the sun, a stranger's smile, the comfort of a good meal. Gratitude isn't about waiting for perfect circumstances to be happy. It's about choosing joy in the present. I once heard a story about a man who had every reason to give up. He lost his business, his health was failing, and his life felt like it was falling apart. But every morning, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first, it was tough. He could barely think of one. But he kept going, and slowly something shifted. His perspective changed. He began to notice the good. that gratitude gave him the strength to rebuild. Gratitude doesn't just alter your mood, it reshapes your actions. When you're thankful, you're more resilient, more hopeful, more generous with your effort. It's hard to feel defeated when you're focused on what's going well. And here's the beautiful part. The more you practice gratitude, the more reasons you'll discover to be grateful. So how do you build gratitude into your life? Start with something simple. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't need to be grand or profound, just real. Something that brings you comfort, peace, or joy. Over time, this habit rewires your mind to see the good. Another way to cultivate gratitude? Speak it. Tell the people in your life how much they mean to you. Write thank you notes. Offer sincere compliments. Say, I appreciate you. Gratitude nurtures relationships and sparks a ripple of positivity. And let me add this. Being grateful doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending life is perfect. Life gets messy. Struggles are real. But even in your darkest hour, there's always something to be grateful for. Gratitude doesn't deny reality. It helps you see the light within. Here's a powerful truth. Gratitude transforms what we have into enough. It shifts our mindset from scarcity to abundance. And that shift, it doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you live. So as you move through your day, seek out moments to be thankful. Notice beauty, notice kindness, notice your progress. When stress creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, what can I be thankful for right now? Because gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a choice. Choose to make gratitude your daily practice. Make it your mindset, make it your way of being. Because when you live in gratitude, you don't just uplift your spirit, you elevate your entire existence. Take a moment now to reflect. Imagine applying these principles, not just for a day or a week, but for an entire year. Imagine the transformation that could take place in your life. Because these aren't just rules, they're tools. Tools that when used with consistency can help you build the life you've always envisioned. But remember this, knowledge alone isn't power. You can memorize these ideas inside and out, but until you apply them, they remain only concepts. Action is the difference maker. Not one-time action, but steady, intentional effort. Let me leave you with this. Success doesn't go to the ones who wait. It goes to those who act, who try, who stumble and get back up. It belongs to those who invest in growth, who lean into discomfort, and who keep showing up when the path gets hard. So the question is, what will you do with this moment, this year, this life? Will you watch it pass by, or will you embrace these principles and make them your own? The choice is yours. Because at the end of the day, the life you live is shaped by the actions you take or the ones you don't. Just remember, everything you need is already within you. The power is yours. All that's left is to use it. Start today, start now, and watch your life transform.